Hello, welcome back to the channel. I am Letitia Bishop, professional makeup artist of over a decade, and this week we did a little bit different on the channel. I invited a model over into my studio and I filmed a makeup look on her. I wanted to do something a little bit different and offer my audience that have, we're all different tones and ages, and we all are uniquely different. And I can only do makeup looks that work for me and look good in my coloring. So I invited a model on that is different coloring to me, and did a makeup look for her. So this is my like high contrast brown eyes makeup look, and I really hope you love it. Yes, she's gorgeous. Yes, she's young and beautiful and doesn't have a wrinkle on her face, but I hope you can appreciate just learning about the colors and just watching me do makeup on somebody else. Please ask any questions that you have down below. I would be happy to answer them for you. About contrast, my contrast is really low in terms of I have really light hair, I have light eyes, I have light skin, I have light eyebrows. Everything is very light, except for my lips today. I went full contrast on the lips. As makeup, it's fun, right? But this model that I have on the channel coming up is a higher contrast in terms of she has light skin, but she has dark eyebrows, dark lashes, dark eye color, and dark hair. So in terms of her light skin, it's a high contrast coloring that she has going on. People with darker skin can also be low contrast, as in their skin color is matching with their other features, so the contrast is not as strong. So some people, there's a spectrum, of course, with super high, super low, in between, but I just wanted to bring on somebody that was a little bit different contrast to me, different coloring, and do a makeup look. And that was it. That's as simple as that. I hope you enjoy watching it. This is the brown eye high contrast makeup look on our model today, Izzy. She's so beautiful. We had a lot of fun laughs and chats together. It took forever because we kept stopping and talking, but she was great fun. So I hope you enjoy watching this, and let's get started. Hello, so welcome. This is the look that I created on Izzy, and let's get started. This is the skin prep stage, the TirTir Skin Milk Toner, fabulous product, as well as the Lethea Regeneration Serum. This is full of roses from Bulgaria. And then I used an eye cream. This is from First Aid Beauty. This has a brightening kind of makeup cosmetic part to it as well. It's got a light refracting properties inside the eye cream. And then this is just a super classic, simple moisturizer from The Ordinary, really massaging all of these products into the skin. It's so important to massage them in, really make sure it's all soaked in. And I love to just give my clients and models a bit of time getting to know their face and their skin. And I think it's an important part of the whole experience with clients and with models to prep the skin in this way. So, firstly is the base. This is the Missha BB cream. This is my all-time favorite base. And I was talking with Izzy before we got started, and she was asking me about products and bases specifically. And I was like, this one, I love it. So I was like, let me just use it on you for the video. You can feel it, you can experience it. And so I did that. This is just so effortless. You can apply it with your hands, with a brush, as I'm doing here, really buffing it into the skin. I mixed 2 shades, worked fine. It's like a perfect color match for her skin. This actually has a surprising amount of coverage, this BB cream. It's a real old school BB cream. It's been around forever. It's available on iHerb, Amazon, all good places. And it's very affordable, and it makes your skin look like skin. As you can see here, undetectable but refined. Whenever I use other products and I go back to this, and I just like, it's like a sigh of relief. It's like, oh, so easy and nice, and there's a reason why I keep rebuying it. and I have it in my kit, and I mostly use it for older clients because it's really nice on their skin as well. This is the eye primer. This is from Rare Beauty. It is a really nice eye primer. I can take my time in blending it onto the eyelids. It's really important to get your eye primer on in a really beautiful blended way, because this really affects the next products you're going to put on top. They're going to be patchy. They're not going to be able to be blended smoothly if your eye primer is on uneven and not nice. Now we're starting on the eyeshadow. This is the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes in the Neutrals palette. I'm really loving this palette. I got it last month, and I'm going over all over the eyelid with a big fluffy brush and using a light skin color tone. This really just takes away a little bit of the tackiness on the primer that we put down, and it helps you blend your next shadows a lot more effortlessly when you start with a neutral color as a base. This is a more taupe brown type color, and I'm starting this on the outer corner, building it up really slowly with a fluffy but more smaller fluffy brush, if that makes sense, and kind of working in a V shape. Up and out is how I kind of say it, going back between the first brush, which I kind of keep as my buffing out brush, my cleaner up brush, and then building up this dark brown, which is quite a neutral brown. It's not too warm, and building that up, and then taking the other one and fluffing out the edges, blurring out the edges with the lighter color or just with nothing left on the brush. Now, the thing with brown eyes like Izzy's, you can do so many different colors. Brown eyes, I say, they can go cool tone, warm tone, you can do golds, you can do silvers. It's really very, open-ended in what brown eyes can do. So many things can look good. So we just started off with a very neutral base here and working on the other side, building it up slowly, up and out, to create that opened eye effect. Now I took the same color and I'm applying it on the inner corner, kind of creating a bit of a halo effect. I was just kind of experimenting, seeing if I like that, and I did. So I did it on both eyes. This just creates dimension on the inner corners of the eyes. So now we're going to go in with a brown chocolatey pencil. This is from Pixie Beauty. It's super creamy, really, really creamy. So I start with one eye at a time. I'm drawing it on, trying to be neat, but it doesn't have to be super neat. I always really like to work with a gel eye pencil like this one. Something that goes on really creamy, but it does set. And so I'm drawing that all across the lash line and a little bit up and out again on the outer corner. In hindsight, I probably should have made this inner corner line a little bit thinner. I think I went in a little bit too thick, especially when it blended it out, but overall the look went well. Taking my nails at the end there, and that's how I get this really sharp, crisp flick. I'm kind of stretching out the end product that's there, as opposed to drawing that with the pencil. The pencil is hard to get them super sharp, so I often just pull it out with my nail like this, and it kind of fades into nothing, and I find that a really good method. It's not super painful. I don't press that hard on my clients. And taking a small smudgy pinpointing type brush and just going over that before it sets on the top of that line, blurring it out, smudging it out. We really want it to look not like a sharp, crisp line. I really like everything to be very blurred. The underneath of that wing we keep crisp, but the top part of that wing we blur out. Also dipping it into a dark chocolate brown color from that palette, helping to blur as well, which also helps set the gel liners at the same time as blurring them out. I'm going to put this on the bottom of the lash line as well. This is just on the outer corner, not bringing it all the way up. A lot of the times I connect it, but for this look I didn't. I did something a little bit different. Little bit, then going in with the pencil brush and then blurring it out, grabbing some powder, adding more of a blur with the powder and pulling it out at the outer corner there, but not connecting it, ever so slightly pulled out. And I created that on the other side as well. You do have to work quickly with these, so that's why you do one part at a time and don't put them on both eyes and then wait a minute and then start blending out, because it will probably set and it'll be hard to blend out. Now I'm picking up a white eyeshadow, again from this Mario palette, the very first color in the left side, and on a smaller brush, another brush, clean brush, and putting that in this area, kind of creating like a negative space, grabbing my fluffy blush and blurring the edge of that out. I don't want it to look too dark. I just wanted it to be a small detail just on the outer corner. It also helps just crisp up the top wing, the top line. So you can do that even if you're not doing the bottom bit. But I just like to always do a little bit of definition on the lower lash line because it really opens up people's eyes. Now, this is the green eyeshadow. This is from Tom Ford. It is discontinued, and I actually didn't love it. I had a bit of a hard time getting it to look good, in my opinion. I felt like it was quite dry, maybe because it's not the newest eyeshadow, but it is a really, really beautiful color for Izzy, and it's a very emerald green, really rich kind of colors to it, a lot of dimension. I have linked down below some options that I've found online that are so similar and, you know, really beautiful as well, almost more beautiful. But applying shimmers like this with your finger first will give you more payoff, and it will just help it kind of stick to the eye better. If you go in straight away with a brush, it fluffs around, it flies everywhere, it falls all over the cheeks. Using your fingers to swipe on your glitter pigments, these loose type pigments, is a lot better. And then taking a brush and blending out the edges, buffing it out, you'll get on better with your like glittery products, I promise. Switching between the eyes, building it up slowly is the best way, rather than having to take off product because you've applied too much. It's never going to work well that way. So start slowly, stand back, take a look at what you've done, reassess, and that's how I work. So this is from the Natasha Denona palette. This is the left upper corner, left like shimmery, it's almost a silvery shimmer, and I'm putting that on the inner corner just to like give like this ombre diffuse. And I really like to always brighten the inner corners of eyes, and I did that with this one, blurring it out from after I applied it with my finger. I blur it out because it just looks a little bit more professional. And putting it on with your finger though, you get the impact, and it's just quicker to work that way than building it up slowly with a brush. And I really like that. That really helped open up and add a little bit of intrigue to the eye, and kind of blurred that in with the green, blurring them together. You don't want to see anything stopping and starting very dramatically. So we've done the skin, we did the base, but we haven't done the concealer or anything like that. So I go in and I clean up any bits, blur out the base, and then this is when we can do concealer. So I always leave concealer till after the eyes are done. Oh, we're back on the eyes. The curling the lashes, super important. Adding a bit of mascara. Izzy has amazing eyelashes, like really great hair, as well as her brows, as you can see. They really don't need much work on them. So we're layering up a few coats of mascara, wiggling that in at the root, and then lifting them up. This is a little brush that I use at work on clients, just to brush through and make sure everything's looking separated, no clumps. You can use that little end bit there to space things out. I don't always use this, but it's just when needed. Cleaning off a little bit of mascara smudge. We had so much fun filming this. Back in, making sure everything's blurred out before we start on the base. Now, this is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer Classic. I love having this in my kit. It's just a really, really nice concealer. It's been around a long time, and it's still popular for a reason, frankly. It's moussey. It's a liquid concealer, but it's not too liquidy where it takes so long for it to dry down and get a bit of a tack to it, and I have to wait for ages. I can kind of work with it quite instantly rather than having to let that dry down happen. I really blur concealer around the center of the forehead and around the whole like T-zone of the face. I feel like this gives a very radiant lip from within, and it just photographs really nicely when you kind of put concealer all around the center part and then you warm up the edges of the face. And this is like my way of sculpting my clients' faces and my models' faces using this brush, patting, not too much swiping motions. On the outside here I am swiping, kind of like lifting up and tidying the eye look, but when you get to the inner part of the eye you really want to just tap. Now we're going in with the bronzer. This is from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the kind of cream to powder bronzer. She doesn't need that much on her forehead, but it's more about just, you know, giving that overall color and sculpt to the face. And then going back in with the concealer blush and blurring that back out. And doing the cheekbones, creating some nice shape there with this fluffy brush and patting that in, pat, and then a little bit of sliding as well, trying not to disturb too much underneath. This is the blush. This is from Korea. This is a new one. This is like a highlighter blush in one. It's a real sheer, glowy liquid product. Do need to like let it dry down a little bit on your hand, I think, before you go in with it, but it has a really gorgeous radiant finish, really sophisticated glow. It actually really reminds me of a Charlotte Tilbury kind of blush that was in the tubes with the fuzzy tops, those like sponge tops. Really reminds me of that. And it's a nice product. They also have a golden color as well, and this is the pink color. Applying that on the other side. It's not, you can build it up, but it doesn't have a lot of color. It just adds a lot of nice texture. So now onto the lips. I'm just taking off her lip balm that I put on at the beginning because it helps marinate the lips and get them all ready for your lip products. This is the Makeup Forever Endless Cacao Lip Liner. It's such a good lip liner on people with this kind of coloring. I've tried it on myself a few times and I find it to look, I kind of can't get it to work. It looks a little bit too grey on me, but on brown hair and brown eyes, it's stunning. It really is like a really nice shadow and base to the lips. This is a cool tone lip liner. So it really frames the lips nicely. So many lip liners, when you put them on, this coloring, it can go a little bit too warm and orangey. This will never do that. It is a really cool tone lip liner, and her lips are like a beautiful shape, as you can see. And then I went in with a simple Maybelline lipstick, this coffee color, kind of blurred that all over the lips, layering it over the lip liner because the colors are different, but you just put the lipstick all over it, and the lip liner works as like a shadow underneath, like a border, a frame to the lips. Often if you do like nude colors on the lips, it can get washed out and your lips get lost a little bit. So using a lip liner in this manner really helps frame your lips as well, and then allows you to wear nude. Blurring out the concealer one last time before we do powder. This is the Huda Beauty powder. I love this powder so much. It is so lightweight, so smooth. It just melts into the skin. Powder is so important for longevity of your makeup. I promise you, try this powder. Get a high quality powder and you won't look back. Your makeup just lasts so much more, and if you do it nicely, if you get a high quality one, there is no creasing and caking that will happen so much. I almost forgot her brows because her brows are already like so good by themselves, but I just gave them a little refinement from this powder, just focusing on the upper corner there, just to add a lift and structure to it. She really doesn't need that much at all. Brushing them through to see the shape that they're taking, and just like slightly filling in any little gaps that she had there, more at the tail end, and I just pull the tail down a little bit. This brow, I brush them down and just getting a little bit of structure on the skin behind the hairs. That's all. She really doesn't need all that much at all. Slightly lengthening the tail a little bit and then brushing them back up, and just a few tiny bits at the front there where it was a little bit sparse, but really she's got lovely brows. filling it in with some clear brow wax from Benefit Cosmetics, just to hold them in place and give them a little oomph to the brows, and that's it. That is the look. Oh, it's not. I did one last little touch. This is the just Inner Corner Pop. This is from the Natasha Denona palette. I think it's the same shade that I used on the inner corner on the top of the lash, at the top of the eyelid. I love to like add a little underneath pop. It really just like gets, picked up in certain lights and opens up the eye. Gives a little intrigue. Just reblurred that shadow underneath the dark brown. And now we are done. I hope you really liked this look. Comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. And please consider subscribing to the channel. And thank you so much, Izzy, for modeling for me. Bye, guys.